So one thing a lot of people are waiting for right now is a proper iPad version of Affinity Studio. And while Affinity have acknowledged that they're working on it, it hasn't officially released yet. One of the best ways to use Affinity Studio right now is actually within an iPad and the Apple Pencil. Because when you're working with vectors, especially after tracing artwork, cleaning up those curves is almost always a part of the process. And that's where this workaround I'm about to show you becomes really powerful. Hi everyone, I'm Nicole from iPad Calligraphy. I spend a lot of my time working between Procreate and Affinity, and I'm always looking for the cleanest, most seamless workflows between the two. Now, a lot of tutorials stop at simply creating vector artwork, but in real world projects, there's usually still cleanup and refinement to do afterwards. And if you've ever tried refining vectors with Bezier handles using a mouse, it can get fiddly and frustrating really fast. But Affinity has this incredible feature called Sculpt Mode inside the pencil tool, where you can literally reshape curves naturally just by drawing where you want them to go. And when you combine that with the Apple Pencil on the iPad, it suddenly makes editing feel so much more intuitive. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm using Affinity Studio on the iPad using Sidecar on a Mac, and why this workflow is so useful for vector cleanup and refinement, plus a few things you should know before getting started. So if that sounds good, let's jump over and take a look. So here is the artwork I'm going to use for this demo. This started as a drawing in Procreate, and I've exported the different parts of the artwork as separate layers. The reason I've done that is because I want the flower and stem and other details to be separate vector shapes inside Affinity Studio. That way I can edit them separately and add color to each section more easily. When you bring those exported layers into Affinity Studio, one of the helpful things is that they all have the same canvas dimensions. So as long as you place each file into the same size document, they should line up with each other properly. Then I can use image trace to turn each of those solid artwork layers into vector shapes. For tracing, a solid black layer usually gives a cleaner result. Once the trace is complete, you may see more than one shape, especially if you're using black and white. So in this case, there can be the actual artwork shape, and then there's also a white background shape that I do not need. So I can remove the unwanted background shape and keep the vector shape I actually want. Just double click into the shape so you have those two separate parts, and then make sure you have the background shape selected and hit the delete key, and that will get rid of it. Then I can start applying color to the different pieces of the artwork. But the important thing to remember is that the image trace does not usually give you a perfect finished result. It gives you a starting point. And when you zoom in, there's often little uneven areas where the curves could be smoother or where the edge of the shape needs refining. So you can adjust those areas with the regular node controls, and that definitely works. But with detailed artwork like this, especially with the petals and organic curves, it can start to feel really slow and fiddly. So this is where the pencil tool becomes really useful. But it's only useful for this with the Sculpt mode turned on. So on its own, the pencil tool is mainly for drawing new paths, but when the Sculpt mode is active, you can use the pencil tool to reshape an existing vector path instead. So that means that you're not just adjusting every little point one by one. You can redraw a section of the curve and guide the existing path into a smoother shape. So instead of pulling tiny handles around with a mouse, I can get a more natural drawing motion to refine the edge of the artwork. So that's why the iPad and the Apple Pencil make the best combination with the Sculpt Mode tool. So the challenge is that Affinity Studio is only available on the Mac right now, but with Sidecar, I can actually use the iPad as a second display for the Mac and move Affinity Studio window onto the iPad. Then I can use the Apple Pencil to control the pencil tool with Sculpt Mode directly on the artwork. So Affinity Studio is running on the Mac, but I can refine these vector curves on the iPad screen, which is much closer to the natural way I want to work with organic shapes like petals and leaves. So to connect Sidecar, you just need to open the control center on your Mac. So that's these two little toggle icons in the top right of your screen. And then you want to click the double rectangle icon. So this is your screen mirroring option. And from there, you can select your iPad. If you see more than one, just choose the one you want. Sidecar can either mirror your Mac screen or it can use your iPad as a separate display. So for this workflow, I prefer using the iPad as a separate display because then I can keep working between the Mac and the iPad. Once Sidecar is connected, I can move the Affinity Studio window over to my iPad screen. If the window doesn't move where you expect, check your display arrangement. Your Mac might think that your iPad is on the other side of the screen than it really is. To fix this, open screen mirroring from the menu bar and then choose Display Settings. In the Displays window, click the Arrange button at the bottom. Your Mac will show where it thinks your iPad is positioned compared to your main screen, and if it's the wrong way around, you can just drag the display rectangles until they match how your iPad is actually sitting on your desk. Once Affinity Studio window is open on the iPad is acting like a second display. You can still use your Mac keyboard, mouse, and trackpad over here on your iPad screen, but you can also use your Apple Pencil. So this is what makes this setup so useful. You can move between the Mac controls and the Apple Pencil depending on what feels easiest for the task at hand. So now I'm going to zoom in to one of the areas I want to clean up. And the key tool here is the pencil tool with Sculpt Mode turned on. First, select the vector path you want to edit, then choose the pencil tool. Make sure Sculpt Mode is enabled. And this part is important. If Sculpt Mode is not turned on, you may end up drawing a new line instead of actually reshaping the existing path. So when you're using Sculpt Mode, you always want your pencil stroke to start on the existing path. Then draw along the section you want to reshape. Think of it as guiding the path into a better curve. You do not want to start randomly away from the shape because that can create a new line. So this is the part that feels so much more natural with the Apple Pencil. It still takes judgment, and I'm not going to perfect every single point, but I'm mainly looking for the areas that visibly affect the final artwork. One thing to remember is that this is still a Mac app, so the interface is not designed for touch in the way a native iPad app would be. Some of those gestures you might be used to on iPad apps, like a 2-finger tap to undo, aren't going to work here. You're still controlling the Mac version of the software through the iPad screen. But for the vector refining, especially curves, this Apple Pencil process feels so much smoother. This is not a replacement for the true iPad version of Affinity Studio that we're all waiting for, but while we're waiting, it's a very useful workaround. If you're keen to try Affinity on the iPad, I've started a wait list and the link's below. Just pop your email in and I'll let you know the moment it lands, and you'll be the first to see my Affinity iPad tutorials and workflows as well. So that's it from me. See you next time.